Hello there. This is Nikolai, the Manga Boomer.
And this is Kai, the Anime Zoomer.
And in today's episode 4 of Season 2, we will talk about what we dislike in the anime and manga world. Be it the story, tropes, genres, fandoms, or other behavior on social media. But before we start, a disclaimer. At least for me, most of the stuff that I say is not a deal breaker, and I don't have any grudges towards people. Because we don't have enemies. Because we have both watched or read Vinland Saga. But we are exaggerating some parts for a comedic purpose. So even though we are insulting someone, it's not meant. We don't mean harm. Let's say it like that. Just for comedic purpose.
Yep.
Then let's start. Which manga do you don't like or anime? What is shit? And why?
Let's start easy with unnecessary cliffhangers.
Yes.
Everyone has watched a goated anime and then suddenly at the best time the outro plays and you're like, bro, what the fuck? Why? And the next episode is like 5 minutes of this continuation and then something completely else. So like those 5 minutes were just cut it out for some reason, and it was very unnecessary that they made a cut there.
Yes, because per se cliffhangers are, I think, good because they make suspense and you want to continue on watching. But I think there's a limit to how much cliffhangers there can be because you get blue balled at some point and don't care. Plus, there are a lot of fake cliffhangers.
Yeah.
Because there's teased something really big, but in the end, nothing happens. Or the situation is resolved really easy.
Yes. And those cliffhangers I really don't like.
Yes, that's
They
why
are unnecessary.
Oh, sorry.
No, you can go on.
Yes, they have to be that way because of, for example, when a manga is released weekly, there needs to be an incentive to read a chapter next week. That's why there are a lot of cliffhangers in animes because they adapt the manga. I mean, a great example is, for example, Chainsaw Man Part 2. Because every chapter right now ends in a wild way.
Yeah, and then it's nothing special what comes in most of the time.
Or something completely new happens.
Yeah.
Which I cannot like. It's chaos.
But yeah, really, really stupid thing that there's unnecessary cliffhangers.
I have one topic that that we can connect with cliffhangers. It's fake out deaths. I hate those. You can pull them once or maybe twice, but that's it.
Yeah.
Because when you have a cliffhanger, for example, when it's teased that someone died, and they are just fine in the next chapter after the arc, then why bother? We both know who's the champion in this regard.
Yep.
So One Piece.
Yeah.
These fake out deaths are egregiously bad. Let the character die, let them have their moment, that's it. If you don't want to use them in the story. Like, what purpose has Pell in the story? The bird guy from Alabasta who flew with a nuke into the sky. Or how was the guy's name from Whole Cake Island, the father of Lola? Do you know the guy?
Lola?
It was a random guy who saved the destroyers because he attacked Oven when he was heating the sea with his club. So that because of it, he got distracted and the destroyers could sail away. And then Oven killed him.
You mean Petro?
No, not Pedro. Pedro's no random.
Yeah, okay.
I think Pound was his name. Something like that. It's basically a random character who had a really cool scene in the end, but is revealed to be alive in a cover page. That's senseless.
Hmm.
A Pound is the real name. You can Google it while we talk. He looks like a random.
Wait, pound?
Pound. Like the weight measurement pound.
Okay.
This guy had a cool scene.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
Yes, he's alive. Why?
Yeah, okay. I see. This guy.
Yes, this guy.
Yeah, I don't even care about this guy.
Yes, so he can stay dead. It would be better.
Yeah.
You can go on with your next point. If you don't have any other egregious fake out deaths.
Nope. Um, what I also hate personally is um, when the author pulls a random recap episode.
But that's more an anime thing than a manga thing.
Yeah. The director then, when the
Yes.
director pulls a recap episode. Solo Living um made it, and it was a lot of backlash.
One Piece does it also very frequently.
Mm,
I think they do it because they have bought the time slot when the episode is airing. But when there are
yeah.
production issues or when they need more time or want to have more time
Mm,
for the episode to be good, they need to air something.
yeah.
I think there's a contract there.
Mm. And I remember Oshinoko did something completely else. They had a real life episode where they showed what's going on behind the scenes, or something like this. I think it was when a voice actor was sick and they had to show something.
If this episode existed, it was not in the package that I bought. Or maybe I skipped it some. At least I can't remember, but
I think it was season 1.
yes, but
Uh,
at least those
yeah.
episodes are more interesting because they give you something new. Or they give you some insight at least. Not like the other recap episodes. If we're talking about voice acting, like you said, at least, or give you some behind the scenes look. This would
Mm.
be actually kind of interesting compared to the recap episode, at least.
It was episode 8. No?
Maybe I need to check in my folder what I've downloaded. It.
Huh.
Good. Let's continue. Or do
Yeah.
you want to talk more about your recap episodes?
No. Go on.
But before we go on, recap episodes are bad in anime and manga, but our recap episodes are worthwhile. You should check them out.
Yes.
Good transition.
It was
So,
a lot of talking last week.
yes, because the season was ending.
Oh, no, I don't want to talk in summer. Holy shit. Then you will get a fucking presentation of in 1 hour.
Bro can make a solo episode.
For real.
For the next part, I want to conclude, not conclude, put a lot of things together. It's from the character side. There are, for example, tropes, the overuse of tropes, and certain character types that we don't like. For me, for example, I don't like the lollies and screaming characters. Those can die in hell. I mean, lollies are obviously why we should not like those.
Mm.
And screaming characters annoy me when I watch anime. Because when I watch anime, it's evening. I want to chill. I want to have a nice, calm evening. I want to relax. And there's some random Demon Slayer character is screaming my ear off. Riot Games.
Why didn't you name Esther from the Clover? Or anyone else?
You know why? Because Asta's the only one in the series who screams. Demon Slayer, there are two screamers. Plus, I have watched the Black Clover not in the original dub. I watched it in English while falling asleep. And it wasn't as obnoxious in the dub as it was in the sub. So, rare W for the dub.
I see, I see. Okay, can I go on?
Yes, whatever tropes or characters that you don't like, or type of characters.
I have the perverted old man in.
Yes.
Those guys are giga annoying and you don't need them.
Yes, the old pervy sensei.
Hmm,
They're a relic of their time.
yeah. Master Roshi.
Jiraiya.
Hmm.
I mean, they don't need to be
Right.
a sensei. Sanji as well is questionable at times.
Hmm. Yeah, but those guys don't need it, in my opinion. I mean, a lot of male characters are perverted, but not as this guys.
Melia is also a great example for a perverted character. It's too
Hmm.
much.
Yeah. Yes.
In terms of tropes, if we can stay on the topic of characters, do you
Hmm.
like tropes or do you think they are overused? Let's say it like that. Or too formulaic.
Uh,
That's a good word.
we had discussion already, and
We had an episode
I
about
still
it,
yeah
yes.
I still stay to my decision. They are overused, but they can stay. They I'm not really that fond of them. There are some um, tropes that are unnecessary, and I don't like them. But there are some tropes that are funny in some way and can stay.
Yes. For example, we both like different tropes, so tropes are something very subjective.
Hmm.
But I think a problem is when every character is just a trope. You can have a handful
Yeah.
of characters who represent a trope, but there needs to be something new, something unique for your series.
Hmm.
So if you can manage that and the other characters are tropes, then that's fine. I would not mind that.
Yes. Let's take, for example, 100 Girlfriends. It's basically about tropes in a romance.
Yes.
There's every romance trope collected, and every character has one of those tropes, basically.
But that's a special case. That's a parody.
Yeah, I know, but those are really good.
Mm. I mean, in one of the recent episodes, we had the Tsundere episode where we had the Tsundere Genki Dama, where the Tsundere needs to get back her energy.
Mm,
This was really funny in the manga.
yes, and the anime too.
We can go on to the next topic if you don't have anything else for tropes.
Nope.
Do we have one, or should I talk about one?
I told one last, so you can go on with yours.
Then the next one is lackluster conclusions to a huge build-up. I don't know about which arc in One Piece I'm talking. Oh, right, it's Wano, yes. I think they are, or the war arc in Naruto. Because At some point when you have a show or a long-running series, there tends to be a build-up towards a climax, a huge finale, or a big scene. And when you
Mm.
fumble that big scene, the build-up is also worthless. And with that,
Yes.
let's say 1/3 of your series or 20% of the series are bad. That's the problem.
Mm.
Because the build-up arc is obviously worse than the climax. But if a climax is good, you enjoy the build-up also. But if a climax is shit, the build-up is also worthless in the end.
Yeah.
Like Punk Hazard is a good example. Because Dressrosa was kinda meh, Punk Hazard is also meh. Because it was a build-up towards Dressrosa. Do you have
Yep.
any other examples where there was a huge build-up and it got fumbled?
Um, I'm thinking, but I can't think of anything.
There's one
S-
Roman show with a good build-up where the end was horrendously fumbled. You know what I mean. A classic in our
The
podcast.
Quince.
Yes, exactly.
Mm. Yeah, okay.
So it's important that you don't fumble in the end or when you try to build up something. Because if you build
Mm.
up something, you need to deliver.
Yep. Okay. Then I have a pointless fan service.
It's this matches with a good point that I have is humor that doesn't fit the theme or the plot.
Yeah.
I think a good one for this is Fairy Tale.
Mm.
Because when you have a fight scene, and then randomly the top of a female character get burned off or something, you
Yeah.
want to see the fight, not that cringe ass shit.
True.
Or when a character randomly falls over and touches a girl while fighting. Come on,
I don't know what anime you mean. Fire Force?
maybe. But there was at least one fight where this was funny. At least one
Mm.
character where this was funny.
Yeah.
But I think fan service and jokes, they have their place, but not when you have serious scenes, for example, or when you have a serious show.
Mm.
Because fan service is not should not be taken seriously.
Yes.
Plus, in general, fan service degrades mostly characters. There are some characters who have fan service and thus you can still take them seriously, but most characters who have a lot of fan service scenes are, well, that's their only character trait, let's say it like that.
Mm. Yep. Definitely.
We've also had an old episode about fan service.
Mm.
I like this episode. This was a good talk about a unique topic, which is really talked about in the community.
Here, fan service and female characters.
Yes.
We combined it with the female characters because neurons get activated
I
if
mean,
there's a
we
fan
don't
service.
care about gay fan service. Let's say it like that.
Mm.
Besides Sunken Rock, the muscles in the series are nice.
And I heard some ladies talk about Dio's muscles in a simp way.
We will talk about the ladies in the social media section and the section outside of anime and manga. I have a
Mm.
talking point there.
Okay.
But if we stay with fan service, I think the same can be said for humor. I don't like humor that doesn't fit the tone or the scene. that it's portrayed in. Like for example, if you have a climactic fight, there don't need to be humor or some jokes.
Mm.
It's an example that is not anime and manga related, but Marvel is perfect for that. You can't have a villain who's murdering everyone and is being super serious, tries to end the world, and crack jokes.
Yeah,
That's not how it works.
definitely not.
I also think in anime and manga there are some moments where you have a serious scene and then, for example, the trope of a character shines through and the tsundere is hitting a guy, even though the guy is doing something serious.
Mm. Yeah, I had the two. The Sundere punch, I called it.
Yes. You can start talking about a new point if you don't have anything else to add.
Nope. You go or I go?
You go.
Um, we talked about fairy tale, and one thing that I especially hate in fairy tale is the power of friendship.
The plot
Always wins.
armor.
Hmm. Because in fairy tale it's very, very strong.
Yes, it's like fake out test. You can pull it once or twice, but it gets repetitive and it's boring.
Hmm.
Because every conflict is resolved in the same way.
Yep.
Because they are friends, then the main theme is playing, and the guy is getting punched to death, basically.
Yeah. And it's reoccurring like every battle, every new villain that shows up gets the power of friendship.
Yes. First, firstly we lose, and then we win because of friends.
Mm. Very, very annoying. I had to mention Fairy Tail there because Fairy Tail is very strong with the power of friendship, so I had
Yes.
to mention it.
Fairy Tail is in general a good example for a show that is really flawed, but is still likable. Because
Mm.
I, for example, yes, I have nostalgia gluts, but I still like Fairy Tail. It has some good moments and scenes.
Yes, it
But it's
does.
but it's a flawed show still. But that shows that even though something has flaws or we dislike certain aspects of a show, we can still like the overall product.
Mm.
Okay. Then for my next point, I have I want to go back to characters. I
Yes.
want to talk about characters that are just introduced for the sake of fighting. Also in Fairy Tail or One Piece, prevalent. Or too many characters are introduced at once. Also Fairy Tail or One Piece, for example.
Yep.
Or in general shown. Because I don't like it when we are starting an arc in Shonen and suddenly 20 characters are introduced.
Mm.
Just do 5 characters who are good written. Or when we are
Yes.
going into an arc where you have a character where you say, okay, this guy's whole purpose of existence is to give Frankie a fight, for example, and nothing else is happening. Or this guy is to fight for, let's say, Gray. Or let's say Levi. Let's make a side character. It's just the purpose of existence of this character.
Mm.
Then the fight is bad because the fight is happening randomly because it's just there for spectacle, which sucks. No narration or purpose is there. And the characters also don't have any development because those fights tend to be bad without character development.
Yep. Fairy Tail, how were the guys called on those spider turtle thingy that destroyed everything on its path.
I know what you mean.
The leader was Zero.
Oh, Russian
Or
says.
yes.
Yes.
It's a great example of those types.
Yes, or the Flying Six from Kaido from Wano.
Mm,
Most of them are pointless and just a repeat.
yeah.
Do you have anything else, or
Nope.
okay? I have a few points that we can speedrun through.
Yes.
One thing that you also, I think, dislike is from your favorite genre, the romance genre,
Mm,
misunderstandings.
yeah.
Misunderstandings per se are not that bad, but I hate how they get resolved. Because people can't talk to each other after misunderstanding. Why is it
Mm,
that hard? You fumble something or interpret something wrong, then talk to the other person. And not wait
yes.
2 weeks and hope for the best.
I mean, some cases are understandable, but not every case.
Yes. In most cases, I'm molding in my chair, asking myself, why?
Mm. Uh, they tend to always run away, look themselves at home, and cry about it, and then just fucking talk it out.
Yes, they overthink it, but they don't talk about it. They think a whole
Mm.
day about it, but don't come up with the idea. I can talk with this person and get this problem out of the way.
So then, yeah, there's a plot that the main character has to get to their home and talk to them, but yeah, it's very annoying.
Well, so.
And I mean, Dandadan served it very good in this case.
Yes, I know the scene
When
that you mean.
when Momo were seeing um, Okarun on top of Aira,
Yes.
but then they talked it out, and she understood it.
Yes, like normal people would do.
Mm.
Okay, then I have one last point, which is
Okay.
art. I mean, obviously, bad artwork or animation is bad, but there's one
Mm.
kind of artwork or animation that I don't like. It's when it's too cluttered and 20 things are throwing at your screen and you can't even see what is going on.
Yep.
It's
Yeah.
more of a manga thing, because some
Mm.
manga panels are so crowded and you can't see, don't have a red string that guides you through the panel.
Yeah.
Also,
I
when
know
some
what you
panels
mean.
are full of expositions, I don't tend to like those. When the exposition is
Mm.
text, because we are in the visual medium, draw it. A series which is great at it is Dun 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 Again, because I recently read the Alien Invasion arc, the ending, where there was the big battle. A lot of explosions, a lot of spaceship, a lot of fighting. But I
Yep.
never did get lost in the panels. It was so clear I could see everything and follow through the panel. It was insanely well done.
I don't remember that much about this arc because it was a long time ago when I read it, but yes, I
Just
know
think
what you
about the
mean.
kaiju battle, where they have
Yeah.
all of the
Yeah.
buildings. You could still
Mm.
see everything that's happening, who
Yeah.
was using which building to punch the other guy, which building was destroyed, yada yada.
Mm.
And if you don't have anything else, now we can talk about the stuff outside of anime and manga that annoys us, like fandoms, and stuff on social media. On to the second part of the episode. The first thing that I don't like is NPC fans and dialogues. I don't know who pulled the stunt yesterday. I don't know. Let me explain. When I ask someone when they are a fan of something, I ask them why do you like it? And they are giving you some answers from NPCs. Like when I ask someone, why do you like certain series, you say, oh, it's just peak, it's the best. Then I ask you, okay, why it's peak? Why do you think that way? Oh, it's the best, it's just peak. When they just repeat the same thing, like an NPC in Skyrim, who has no more dialogue options. I don't know who did this yesterday when we are talking about from Minecraft. I don't know.
IMC is enough reason to watch it.
Because when I ask someone why they like it, it's just, let's say it like that. When someone would ask me why I like it, I see it as like, oh, he's interested in it. Potential fan. I can convert him. So I pull out everything and yap about it. Why they should watch it, why they should like it. Because maybe I can create another fan of my favorite series. And I can't achieve this goal if I'm like an NPC who just repeats everything
Mm.
3 times in a row. And in terms of repeating, I also don't like when people are just copying what their favorite creator said online. Those also tend to be NPCs.
Yeah.
When they say, "Oh, this series is my favorite," and you know why it's your favorite because you've watched the same video and they are exactly repeating it.
Yep.
I'm
So,
finished with my
yeah.
NPC rant if you want to go
I
on.
have something that fits to yours, and it's
Hmm.
the your opinion is wrong mentality, guys.
Oh, yes.
So those guys that are always like, "Oh no, you're wrong. I'm better than you. I've watched 1,000 animes. This
Yeah.
shit is ass."
People who are such a high horse for no reason.
Hmm.
The classical elitists.
Yeah.
A great debate for this topic is, for example, shonen versus seinen. Is seinen are the most more mature stories who tend to have better writing because they are written for an older audience, but that doesn't mean shonen is bad. They just have a different purpose.
Hmm.
Both demographics can have their upsides and downsides. It can be enjoyed, no matter how old you are. Not how old you are, but no matter what you are searching for. Say it like that. Like I'm getting close to 30, but I still enjoy my dumb shonen because
Hmm.
they are fun. I have fun while reading.
Yeah.
That's the point of a hobby.
Hmm.
You should have fun, not overanalyze everything like you're in the uni. I mean, I study history and obviously could research everything that happens in Vinland Saga, Innocent, or Vagabond, or other historical manga, but that would not be fun. I want to have fun by reading it, not to work.
Yes. And
Same
then,
goes for people who overanalyze all of character motifs of stylistic devices, yada yada yada.
hmm.
I mean, it's fun for you, nice, but for me, I like to think about it a little bit, like one or two. What's the word? I like to dig deep a bit, but not. I don't like to dig deep to the center of the earth. Let's say it like that. Just one or two layers. That's the word I search for.
Hmm.
Now you can go on.
And one point connected to those guys is spoilers. And I really hate to say it, but manga readers are the most spoiler guys ever. Like you see an anime post on in social media, and you read some comments, and someone out of nowhere spoils the whole arc for you. Out of nowhere.
Yes.
Go read the manga
Yes,
is the answer then. After they spoiled everything for you. Like,
yes, I don't like it as well.
a lot of manga readers are like that. You see an anime that looks nice, and then spoilers, 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 spoilers from manga
Yes, I
readers.
also try to not spoil that much.
Mm.
Because, for example, you know, I don't know if you've read it, but you at least know what happens in the eclipse, right?
In
And
what?
in the eclipse in Berserk.
Uh, I don't know.
It's the it's the most famous scene from the highest rated manga of all time,
Mm.
which is a very shocking event. But if you know what happens, because you got spoiled, it's still shocking and grotesque and disgusting, but not as much as it could be.
Mm.
That's why I rarely talk about Berserk, because I've read through the Eclipse, which is the best scene of the manga, but I did not have the initial feeling that people had who read it unspoiled.
Mm.
This got robbed from me because spoilers.
This is also one reason why I always watch on release day, so I don't get spoiled.
Yes.
It sucks. You scroll on Instagram the day one episode of a hype show gets released, you get spoiled for the whole manga.
Yes, you can dodge it. There's just the one random panel popping up. Plus, some people are spoiling you unintentionally. That's also a problem. They
Hmm.
don't mean any harm, but they still spoil you.
Yeah. And it's most likely the manga readers.
Because manga is further in the
Yeah.
anime. Yes. As a manga reader, I try to be delicate about spoilers. I
Hmm.
talk about certain things to hype people, but I want to hype people to watch or read this stuff, so I can't spoil what's happening. I can't spoil what's the best thing.
Yeah.
So why do we do this? I mean, you obviously need to discuss what's happening currently, but be at least awake in the YouTube titles and your thumbnails.
Hmm.
At least try to be. At least for newer shows.
Yes.
Because for older shows, there I don't know any mercy. Let's take One Piece, for example. In Marineford, we both know that there are two shocking deaths. It's Ace and Whitebeard.
Hmm.
I don't have any mercy spoiling those because those happened ages ago. If you did not know this, then sorry, sucks to suck. There
Hmm.
needs to be some there needs to be some boundary to which I can spoil shit for older stuff.
Yeah.
So about this you can complain. But for example, a recent spoiler that I've got spoiled is in Blue Lock. I got spoiled for a certain ranking.
Hmm.
Well, when the chapter got released, then yeah, that sucks. Because I read the manga physically and I probably need to wait a year to get to the scene, so thanks for that.
Yeah. It was me who spoiled him.
No, no, I saw it before you wrote it to me.
Hmm.
You confirmed the spoiler, basically. Let's say
Yeah.
it like that.
Yeah.
You weren't the first, but you hammered the last nail in the coffin. That's a good analogy.
Hmm. Okay,
But
spoil.
before we go,
Yeah.
but
Spoil.
before we go
I
on, I want
thought
to
you.
talk one thing about spoilers.
Hmm.
Spoilers are nice if you're actively searching out for them,
Yes.
because we are both One Piece fans, and One Piece has an insanely good spoiler culture.
Yes.
Because you get spoilers like 5 days or 4 days before the chapter comes out, and you're so
Hmm.
hyped for the chapter sometimes because of it.
And actually, I'm currently at this point at Blue Lock where I'm reading spoilers too because I want to know what's next. And the spoilers get online 4 or 5 days before chapter release.
Yes. So it's okay when you seek out those spoilers actively,
Hmm.
but not if you get spoiled while you don't want to get spoiled.
Yeah.
Should we go on?
Yes.
Then it's my turn. You mentioned the one thing that you watch the episodes when they get onto release
Hmm.
because you don't want to get spoiled. I
Yes.
think that's connected with one topic I want to talk about. It's the topic FOMO, fear of missing out. Because you don't want you when you get spoiled, you're missing out on the, let's say, plot twist or revelation.
Hmm.
And I think FOMO is something when you want to read something instantly or when you want to get something before it's not available. In the manga scene, that topic is a huge problem. Because when you know that something is not a popular manga series, but you want to buy it, there's always a lingering thought in your head. I need to buy the series now. Because when I try to buy it next year, it's out of print. For example, I want to buy Golden Kamuy, the series,
Hmm.
probably this year. But the problem is, Golden Kamuy is not that popular because the anime is a CGI clusterfuck, and the manga is historical, so very niche. And I know the sales numbers are not that good in Germany, so there's a thought in my head. I need to be quick, because when I wait half of a year, not every volume will be available. That sucks.
Hmm.
And you also have FOMO if you want to watch the episodes before you get spoiled. That's
Yeah.
the same concept.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to miss out on the moment when the plot twist hits you, the character death hits you, or whatever hits you.
Hmm.
So FOMO sucks.
Yes.
Plus, some publishers tend to abuse FOMO with limited editions and whatsoever.
Hmm.
Or with box sets. When you need to buy something expensive because it looks fancy and you want to have it.
Yes. Definitely.
And with this topic, I also want to say it sucks that a lot of stuff is out of print, but I can understand why publishers are doing it because it would not be good if they reprint everything because they would make losses, yada yada yada. I still want to read it physically, come on. But I can understand why certain series are not reprinted. It's still sad. Now you can go on with your next point.
um. Let's start with sub versus sub wars.
Yeah, we talked about it before already.
Did we?
Yes, shortly when we are mentioning Asta screaming, where Dub had a
Yeah,
W.
yeah, but not that deeper.
Yes, yes.
I'm talking about those guys who are always, nah, sub is ass. And
In which camp are you before we start the argument? Because I think we are in different camps.
yeah, it's obvious that I'm in sub. Because I can learn Japanese through it. I like the Japanese voice actors a lot more.
Yes.
Yes, but I'm fine with dub watchers. If you want to watch dub, go ahead and watch dub. It's not for me personally, but go ahead and
Then
watch
we
dub.
are kinda in the same camp. Obviously, the Japanese version is better. The voice actors are better. The language is better. It sounds badass. That's a fact. But I tend to watch dubs nowadays because when I watch animes, I watch them with friends who are not that deep into anime.
Mm.
So for those guys, it's nice to watch it in German or English. Or I watch animes well on the side when I write a paper for uni or something on the second screen. There, the dub is also superior because I can't write a paper and read subtitles.
Yeah.
That's impossible.
Mm.
Or when you watch an anime while you're gaming. Same thing.
Yeah.
But I also have a topic which is connected to sub and dub. It's localization problems and bad translations. Because I don't know if it's the translators, the publishers, or something, but in Germany we have some manga series where how is it called in English? English in German it's called suffix. The sun, chan, sama, and whatsoever. They are sometimes not there in the German translation. Why do you do this?
Mm.
Those are important.
Yeah.
Those give us a lot of atmosphere. So why do you not include them? Because it doesn't fit our language, that's cap. They are an important part of the culture that you are representing in your translation. I
Mm.
hate it.
True. I remember I was in the JJK Zero movie and I watched it on dub because I didn't notice that it wasn't Japanese. And I cringed a lot on this day because the German dub was, yeah, really, really weird. They used very cringy swearing words,
Yes.
and the
When they try
translation,
to be hip and try to connect with the youth,
hmm,
it's cringe.
and some words were very cringy translated. Like they wanted to be appeal to the younger audience, definitely, but it was just cringe.
Yes, swearing in general is mostly cringe when you translate it.
Hmm.
And this is more a serious and movie problem when you translate the names. That's also kind of cringe.
Yeah.
If you watch the German Game of Thrones, for example,
Nope. I haven't watched Game of Thrones.
there was a peak scene where you have the where the mountain hides behind the hill. This was a translation. A character was named the Mountain.
Okay.
This just sounds dumb. When a mountain hides behind the hill, that doesn't make sense. Come on, guys. They translated the wrong character name so that it sounded cringe.
Hmm.
And it makes no
Yeah.
fucking sense if you read the sentence out loud.
Yeah.
It doesn't work in English when I say it, but you know what I'm getting at. Don't
Hmm.
translate names.
Yeah.
The same goes for Jon Snow. He's named Jon Schnee in German. Yes, Snow and Schnee is for translation, but it's still cringe. Don't translate names. Why?
Hmm.
It's dumb.
I have just one or two things left, so go on.
I have still a few. When we are talking about region and translation, region lock is a dumb concept. Like,
Hmm.
why the fuck should an anime be available on Crunchyroll US and not be available on Crunchyroll Germany?
Yeah.
Riot Games! Why is it happening like this? Come on.
That really sucks, though.
Yes, because when I watch a video from an English creator, tells me this anime is amazing, you can watch it on Crunchyroll. And I open my German Crunchyroll and it's not there.
Hmm.
Sucks. It also happens to you sometimes because I don't watch anime on certain other sites, but you try to recommend me for our podcast segment. At least, was it two times or just the once? A series that wasn't available on Crunchyroll or Prime service that I had in our country, but it was available in other countries.
Yeah, I don't know. It was like twice, I think.
It happened at least.
Mm.
It happened. Let's say
Yeah,
it like that,
yeah.
which sucks. Because you want to recommend someone a show that you could really like, but the show's not available in their
Mm.
country.
And not everyone has the money to buy like 5 streaming services.
Or VPN.
Mm. Sucks.
Then should I still go on, or do you want to talk about the last point?
I said I have 1 to 2. So I
I
have
wanted to.
two.
Nice.
Yes, but I can go on. And the next thing is over sexualizing underage characters. So you talked about it, lolis. I take it a little bit further. Rule 31, 34. Is it?
34, I think.
Yeah.
I also have digits on my list, so we are aligned in this one.
Hmm. Those guys who are always over sexualizing underage characters.
Yes, in general, the degenerates
Hmm.
bring a bad light on our community.
Yeah.
Like when you have a normal show where there's rarely any fan service, but those people post some degenerate memes.
Hmm.
My favorite example for this is Frieren. There is just one fan service in Frieren with feet, and yes, one of the main characters has a bigger booba, but come on, that's not that bad compared to other shows. But there are still a lot of lewd pictures circling around on social media for Frieren.
Hmm.
We talked about it already, but you know the armpits.
Yeah.
Why? Come on, guys. Control your king, please. Don't put one of my favorite shows in a bad light because of that. Go somewhere else.
There was even the hashtag don't loot Komi-san when Komi-san aired. And
Ah, yes, I remember.
what did the degenerates do? They loot her.
Obviously.
Hmm. Even Anya from Spy Fam gets looted on. It's so
Yes.
cringy and annoying. She's like
Even
5 or 6 years old.
a bit older, but
Yeah.
not more than 10 or 12.
Hmm. I think
Still elementary
seven,
school.
8 or something.
Yes. And because of that, normal people view animes in, I think, two ways are the most prevalent ways: child stuff and hentai.
Hmm.
That's what normies say when you ask them what anime is for them.
Yeah.
Come on, we can do better, guys. Don't represent us in a bad way.
Hmm.
If I have a choice in terms of representation, I just would like, let's reset. I would rather be represented by Demon Slayer fans, solo leveling fans, and fans who are apes than degenerates
Yeah.
who paint me in a bad light. Let's say
Yep.
it like that.
Yep.
I can live with that. With the apes. I don't want to live with degenerates. They can go away.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Then should we go on to the next one?
Yes. How many do you have left?
A few, but not that much.
Okay.
I can combine them together.
Hmm.
One thing that is just for me is digital only manga. Not digital only manga on Manga Plus, but when a publisher releases manga digital only for sale. Come on, guys! If you have a manga digitally, then why can't you have a physical version? I don't want to pay money for a PDF. Come on, that sucks.
Yeah.
Let's go to the next point where you can also talk a bit. It's people who like numbers and who think that just because something has numbers, it's important. Like when someone says, "Oh, I like the manga who has the most sales. I am the best because of that." Or when you're making a manga collection video on YouTube and write, "Oh, my manga collection is worth 20K, so I am rich and I'm better than you." They implied it. Let's say it like that.
Mm-hmm.
Or when they say, "Ooh, I have better taste because I like the number one rated anime or manga on Mal." Numbers aren't that important, guys. Come on.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for example, if someone is number one on the popularity list on Mal, that means, yes, all the apes are there. That's it.
True.
Because if something is the most popular thing, it's simple because everyone can enjoy it. And it's very hard for simple things to be written good. That's how it is.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm sorry, like we deleted that we trash talk before, but that's facts.
Okay, I have my last point is those guys who compare stuff together.
Oh, I have power scalers on my list as well, yes.
Like for example, devil fruits are better than Sharingan, or Sharingan is better than Nen or something.
Thanks. Yes. Especially with Hunter x Hunter fans with those are the dumbest guys. They are so
Hmm.
annoying.
Yes, those guys are really, really annoying, and I hate them.
Yes. I think it's senseless to compare stuff cross series.
Hmm.
I think if you power skill in your series, this can be an interesting thought argument. Because let's say One Piece. We both thought about the question, who is stronger, an admiral or a yonko? Because we haven't seen a fight between an admiral or a yonko,
Yeah.
but we can ask ourselves, okay, who is stronger? Because Kaido lost quote unquote to Luffy Gear 5, and Kizaru also, but who would win, Kaido or Kizaru against one each other? Who
Hmm.
knows? Because we won't see it.
Yeah.
That's an interesting train of thought.
Hmm. But you can't.
Asking yourself, go on, sorry,
I know you were talking, so go on.
but asking yourself, okay, who is stronger, Naruto or Luffy? That's fucking dumb.
Hmm. Exactly what I wanted to say. You can compare two different animes.
Yes,
It doesn't make sense at all.
exactly right.
So you can go on.
Mm, I have 2.5 points. I don't like people who jump from the most hype thing to the next hype thing, who are kind of fake fans, who just like it because it's popular, the chasers,
Hmm.
basically. Like, come on, guys. If you find one thing that you like, just stay with it, be loyal, and don't chase your opinion every season.
Yeah.
Also, on social media, is also an illness, let's say it like that. Because
Hmm.
every season on social media, everyone is posting, oh, this is the best anime of all time, oh, best anime of the year, yada, yada, yada. Come on, guys. There can't be four best animes of the year. Just pick one.
Yes.
Stay to your opinion. It's not that hard. And the last thing I have, if you don't have anything to add,
Nope.
it's directed at you, kinda. People who go into a series expecting something is serious that it isn't. Yes, we are talking about Frieren. When you drop something because you think it is boring because there's no action. But if a show is not plot heavy but a character heavy show, it's the same when people we had this said before with elitists when elitists go into shonen and find the writing bad. Yes, it's a shonen. That's the point. There's action and fun. Just don't say a series is bad because it hasn't the aspects that its genre or demography should not have. Just rate the series for what it is,
Hmm.
and for something that it could not be. It's not that hard.
Yep.
Like, I don't go to watch Blue Look and say, "Oh, Blue Look is bad because people are playing basketball." That's fucking dumb,
Yeah.
if I would say that. And the last thing I don't like,
Hmm.
Boruto fans. Cringe. That's it.
Okay.
Now,
So
what are we going to do next episode?
for next episode, we will make something fun and unique because we are going to make animes better at endings. We rewrite bad endings and turn it into good endings.
I see.
So, for example, we take JTK ending and make it better. So, of course, there will
Interesting.
be spoilers because we we handle endings. So, definitely spoilers ahead.
Yes, definitely.
But yes, we will look at endings, bad endings, and make them better for you guys in our own style.
Yes. Also, if the time is there, we can maybe predict how certain series are going to end.
Mm,
Also, interesting thought experiment.
that's it for this
Have a
episode.
nice, yes, have a nice rest of your day.
Yes, we hope you enjoyed this episode. Join in for our next episode
Yes,
and have a
and
great day.
bye.
Bye.